So, Agent, you want to get some tips and tricks for the wrecking zone. You've come to the right place. So this is actually a fairly easy mode to dominate, and hopefully things go well so I can show that off. So the particular class I rock is the pistol with the rocket launcher, the homing rocket to be specific. So a key to Crackdown is the movement. Movement is everything, and that is going to be a key part of how you're going to be able to really rock the multiplayer experience. So it's best to kind of get used to it. You're basically like a souped up agent when you're playing the multiplayer, so get used to what you can do. You can jump twice, and you can burst around twice in each stride. So I can go, and I know there's a guy there, or at the same time. So that's your movement system. And keep in mind, it resets when you touch the ground. So if you're scaling buildings, reaching new heights, you're going to be basically resetting your movement and your stride system, which is very helpful when you're getting attacked and chased by people. See, we ran out of stride there, so we weren't able to follow this guy. But we can move around, tap that, and burst again, and do our stride again, which is super helpful. So off the map, you can actually walk on it. It does damage you, but sometimes you gotta go there to chase guys down. That's just part of the experience. Great. So you're noticing my movement. I'm using the pistol, tapping it a lot, and just firing at people while moving around. Keep in mind, you can use your stride while you're in the air. These boosts are insanely helpful for getting around, so definitely use them whenever you can. But other than that, you don't 100% need them all the time. That's just how it goes. So yeah, switch between moving, hopping, jumping, and strafing, because you can go any way, any direction at any point, which is great because you're getting attacked from all directions. I find the best thing you can do when moving around is to keep calm and just kind of keep your direction going. So when you're getting chased by people, there's the lock-on system. So you lock on, and I'm going to give you a good tip about lock-on. So when you're moving around, the best way to find people is just to kind of aim in and out. Just that left trigger, just to find individuals, because it just kind of hooks onto them, and then you're able to fire away and shoot at them. And just keep it on them and keep holding LT, because your character will continue to be drawn to them. Now moving past that, the way to get out of a lock when somebody's locked on you and shooting is just to keep moving around buildings. Remember the glass you can just phase right through basically. It shatters around you really awesomely. But the target system doesn't last forever. So you'll notice this guy, he's out of sight, and after a while, if he continues to be out of sight, he'll actually disappear off my radar, and I have to chase him down and highlight him again in order for that to make that work. So if you move around a building or even a simple object long enough that the other person loses the lock on, you're basically good to go. I guess my teammate's kind of highlighting, so that doesn't help. If you are having troubles finding somebody, we have a rocket launcher, or you have any explosive. So I find the explosives are kind of useless in this game. Just use guns if you want to shoot people. Maybe a submachine gun if you like something with a better fire rate. But the pistol is so OP. So if there's somebody hiding, open up the wall. Seriously. I see so many people that kind of get lost and they try to walk around a building. But you can just open up the wall or the building or the floor or the ceiling, and you can go target people. It's insanely easy to do in this. I mean, it's basically an evolution of what, DICE was aiming for back in the day, and they just kind of left alone. In the Battlefield series where you can destroy stuff. You still can, but you get the sense that this is like the ultimate eventual destruction that I was hoping for them to achieve. I also use the vertical jump too in this class. I find it very helpful. Launch pads are great. They get you going. Pick a direction that is basically where the enemies are, or your teammates, depending if you're doing an objective mode. And again, just keep aiming and just keep going. The pistol. So this is the one I've been talking about. You've been seeing it kind of in action. Just keep tapping with it. Aim in and tap away. This thing is deadly at really any distance. Once you get closer, it's even more powerful. But it also keeps the shields down, so shields regenerate after so long. So that's why you got to keep the fire going, even if you're losing them. Just one bullet or so will keep those shields down, and then once you're in a death kind of range, you can finish them off. So if you are close to somebody, and you've got them killed, and say, your pistol, your gun runs out of ammo, the best thing you can do is tap B. So B is either a strike straight down, or a strike through somebody. And a strike through somebody will just basically instantly kill them once you're at a certain health point. I'm trying to get someone where they're not instantly dying from my slaughter of bullets, so onslaught of bullets. But yeah, just keep moving around, dipping and dodging through the buildings, and firing at people, and you'll just absolutely dominate. try to do the, yeah, there we go. So that's kind of what I was meaning. Usually be closer, or I would have just shot that guy on the reload. These guns, like the pistol's so deadly so fast that you can just basically keep shooting and reloading and kill somebody before they have the chance to get you. So obviously there's two modes. This is kill confirmed, we're collecting badges, and then the other one is more of a territories based thing. But I think killing's sort of a universal aspect of what this Crackdown multiplayer experience is. So you also have abilities. I guess the shield is a pretty good thing to do. I mean, it gives you a few seconds to kind of react. I don't really care. I like to use this one. You know, it just kind of gives you an extra little boost where you need it with your, you know, bullets and everything like that. Not a big deal. Again, it's really easy to find people, interact, and kill them in this multiplayer. And I notice a lot of people like seem to struggle, but I've really got it down. I used to just be doing the rocket launcher, and I'm like, this is so ineffective. It's not killing people. And then I tried to get the, well, I did get the achievement for using every gun in a single match to kill somebody with. And I realized then that the bullets are just far more effective than rockets. Now, the reason I do have a rocket as well, as an extra little tidbit in case you're having issues kind of getting a full grip on the pistol, is you can use the rocket a couple times and then finish them off with the pistol. See, the rocket will do so much damage, and it homes in too, because this is the homing one. This guy hiding. And then you're able to get closer range and just finish them off with the pistol before that other person kills me. I think they still got me. But it really is that easy. And I know there's other weapons. You can use the SMG. That's going to get you a little bit more of an effective, quicker shot. I mean, if you're not good with, you know, tapping and tapping and tapping, there are other options, right, that are present in the game to use. And, you know, I definitely say use them. The shotgun's great at close range. The submachine gun's one of my favorite guns to use in this. The minigun, once it, you know, gets going, you can really do a lot of damage with it. And then, you know, there's other options too. Oh, crap. The plasma type pistol, or plasma rifle type thing is pretty effective as well. But yeah, the pistol just seems to absolutely dominate for me. I've had so many matches like this. I've had like 12-0, 10-0 and stuff like that. And it just annihilates. And I know there's like 2 players on their team, but the others quit, as you could tell, because there was more at the start. No, we've got another match here because we just blow by these levels way too quickly. That's why the kill someone with every weapon is so hard to do in this. Generally, you know, apply the weapon combat that I've suggested. It will help you greatly. And then number 2, well, maybe even before weapon kind of style, is just get really used to that movement that I suggested. Keep yourself elevated as much as possible because it's a huge advantage in this one. And then move in as you've started to damage people. Try to stay away from groups because they're going to cause a lot of problems for you. I can't believe I didn't get that. Yeah, and try to get people individuals or in groups of 2. You don't want to find yourself outnumbered because your health really depletes quite quickly in this one. But don't forget that you can take a lot of damage, and don't be afraid to really keep going, especially if you got about half health on the top bar there. Because you can pull off those finishing moves, especially if the other person sort of lacks the confidence to deliver on things. So we've lost this guy around the building, and there's a couple ways we could do it. We could go around side to side. I always like to do above. Try to jump down. I don't think this person really knows what they're doing. But, yeah, so you can go left side, right side. You can go through the building to get to them, which is wonderful. Or you can find an elevated position. And I really do find shooting downwards in this is hugely helpful. Don't try your best not to end up on the ground level, because you're basically just asking for death at that point. It makes you way too vulnerable, and it's hard to get yourself elevated again once you're down there, unless you hit a lucky spot like in the middle there, where you can burst out. These are seriously really lifesavers, especially during the territories matches, because you'll find yourself standing still in order to capture the positions, whereas you need to keep moving in this. If you are standing still, make sure it's for a purpose and you're trying to find your next group of people to kill. Otherwise, constantly keep moving, because a non-moving target is so easy to eliminate in this. I got killed there. You gotta make it hard on people. Otherwise, they're just gonna run all over you and just completely conquer. Which is not something you want, right? You want to be victorious. You don't want to lose. And be careful of, like, you know, just buildings kind of shattering and stuff like that. It's really easy to get trapped if you're on one of the layers of a building. And you have pieces of the world falling upon you. Then you use B in order to get yourself out of that situation, because you can break through the walls really easily. Otherwise, you're kind of like, oh, what am I doing? Again, just keep holding LT, the trigger. It just, well, if you're on PC, it's slightly different, because it'll just keep locked on, and once you kind of get locked off of a target, it is extremely hard to get back onto them, especially when you're both moving in sort of in a combative sequence with each other. And it's very easy to understand when you're getting attacked by people, because you can see the lines sort of appear around your body. So make sure there's no specific target on you, and if there is, get moving, especially if you don't know where that shot might be coming from. You might not even be shot yet, they could just be aiming at you, but you'll know because it shows the icon. I'm trying to get someone to kind of aim on me so I can show that off. Deadly there. You gotta watch out for those jumps and just kind of move away. You can just move to the side because they don't have a huge blast radius. See, there's the targeter. They are shooting at me, but you get the sense of seeing that streamlined line actually physically there, showcasing that I'm being attacked. So the jump pads, we kind of mentioned that again. Really good at kind of sending you where you want to go. I always tend to pick the one where I know I can get to a high point right away and back into the action, because this is all fast-paced. I mean, you don't have a lot of time to get things done. There's a lot of other people doing stuff. Everything's breaking, and it's, you know, it's kind of a frantic nightmare. If you are on the ground, make sure you are at least double jumping in order to keep yourself from being standing still, because you are just really out in the open for death when you are on the floor. And you want to keep, you know, the KD ratio up high, especially when you're playing death-based modes. And, I mean, it's not really fun to die. These little situations are so tricky when they're in buildings, but yeah, just keep yourself moving, keep breaking the buildings down, and don't be afraid to destruct the environment if somebody is hiding somewhere. And if you are getting shot up, like I am, quite a bit more this match, make sure you use the buildings to your advantage, because like I said, they can lose their line of sight really easily in this game. If you're moving around a building, or even like just, you know, any sort of small object or tower, it can make a huge difference in your visibility. And just keep holding LT and using this really overpowered pistol. Seriously. I mean, it looks like I'm kind of dominating with it, does it not? Anyways, I hope you found this helpful and that it will assist in your dominance of the multiplayer like I have been.